That's the trouble.
No, we're exactly the same. We've not been able to get out, and yeah, it's just being able to do things like this keeps our hand in it, and it's nice to be able to speak to you and bring you on the show.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I love it. Well, at least it gives me someone to talk to.
Yeah, it can get a bit crazy, I guess, during lockdown, but
Yeah.
So, Richard, we've got some questions coming in from viewers that'll be asking us some questions, but we wanted to sort of open the floor, find out a little bit about you. I'm guessing that lots of people are on the show in the paranormal, know who you are, and would have seen you either in various TV programs or even been lucky enough to investigate you at the jail. But Richard, you're a historian.
Say again.
You class yourself as a historian. Was that something you've always been into from a young age? The history side of things?
Yes, right. I mean, the only thing I was only good at school was history. I did get a prize for history once, but yeah, my passion is military history. Yeah. Soldiers, battles, swords, guns, uniforms, the army, militaries, all that sort of stuff. That's my passion. But I got, you see, I opened a heritage centre. I realised the potential of heritage history in promoting a city, which of course comes from Derby. Yeah. And I became chairman of Derby Tourism. And opened a heritage centre in an old Tudor grammar school that got a ghost in it. And I thought, what can I do? How can I start to bring people into the city of Derby? Well, York do ghost walks, Chester do ghost walks, and so I thought, well, let's try a ghost walk in Derby, which I did the first one 28 years ago, and I didn't like it. I thought, this is rubbish. I can't do that. I can't talk about it like this. This is absolute nonsense. This was the stuff I'd sort of read about and things. And I thought, if I'm going to do it, I have to believe in it. So I stopped for 6 months. I only did that one and thought, right, let's research. And I went very deep into researching the stories. And I realised from then that ghosts and history go together. That one adds to the other. If you went round talking all night about there's a ghost in there, and there's a blue lady in there, there's a green lady in there, and there's a poltergeist in there, unless you've got some meat for the bones, it could become quite boring quite quickly. And so I sort of tied the history in with it, which makes it so much more fascinating because there's a grey lady in there. Well, hang on a minute. Well, who is she? What's her name? Why is she there? What happened to her that caused her to still be there because she shouldn't be? Why is she grey? Why isn't she blue, yellow, or green? And of course, one of the fascinating things that so many people don't think about is what can we do for her? Oh, yeah. What do you mean? It's a ghost, isn't it? Yeah, but it was a human being once. Yeah. And it really shouldn't be there. So all of that came into it. Then, obviously, Most Haunted came along and offered me a job, for want of a better word, branded me as a historian. Fair enough. But I said, no, I'm a paranormal historian. Ghosts and history go together. Yeah. And they add to the proof behind the ghost stories. In my opinion.
Yeah. Well, no, we're definitely on the same sort of lines, really. We definitely look at the history of a place. So when we go somewhere, we'll always look at doing some research on it, what would have been. And I think on our private events, we try to do as much research as we can. I think on a public event, we tend to sort of just see how that goes because we don't want to lead anyone down a path to say this ghost resides here or something that resides
that's right.
here. But
that's right.
Certainly, we do a lot. I mean, we got Andy on the show tonight. Andy and Beth, they sort of look at the history of stuff. I think before we've been to any venue at all, we literally go. We look at everything, don't we?
Yeah, so the old newspaper articles, information about the ownership of the building, etc.
Yeah, so we try and tie in much history as we can to try and find out if there is someone there. Exactly what you said. Why are they there? So we try and tie that into as well.
Yeah, and what happened to them? Yeah. That's caused them still to be there. yeah, I don't know. There's so much more to it, and
Yeah, I love that, Richard. So I love that you said, you know, it's not just about being a ghost there. It's why are they there?
Yeah.
Because I think our feeling about it is when we try and make these connections, that's what you're doing. You're trying to make it that connection. Anybody can ask you to knock 3 times. And,
yes,
you
a
know,
personal
they've got a story to
connection.
tell.
They have indeed, and of course, there's another word. Because respect. Cheers, guys.
Exactly.
It is Sunday night, isn't it? So I say there's so much more to it, and I'm afraid that's to a certain extent what lets down, I believe, most ghost programs, because they're really, I'm afraid, I hate to say it, but they're all about the scare factor, which everyone loves. Of course they do.
Definitely.
You know, that's why we go to Alton Towers. That's why we go to the theme park. We don't go to the theme park for the ride that goes round and round on the flat. We go for the one that puts your heart in your mouth. You know, is it with the big drops and the scare factor, and that's what we all love. I know that, but there's more to ghosts
It's probably
than the scare factor
that we have. The biggest problem we have with, on the public events, they've watched the TV shows, they've seen this being thrown or this being done, and then we've got 6 hours with them. Like, you know, we've got no editing. We're literally there.
Yeah, sat watching paint dry.
yeah, just calling out for things to happen. It's really difficult. And then we've always said, I'd rather someone walk away from one of our events thinking, well, that was rubbish, nothing happened, then was Dan faking it, or was Lee faking it, or was that put on from a show, really? We've always sort of kept that ethos, but yeah.
There's a big difference.
Questions?
Yes.
Questions?
Yes.
Questions for Richard, yeah. I think we've had some for you, Richard, already, I think.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
We're just going to get them up now, I think.
That's okay. Do you tend to use equipment rather than mediums on your investigation? That's a good question. That's a good question.
So for us,
I tend to be
double-ended, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is actually. You see, for me, the only ghost detector is you and your dog. To be honest with you, and all of the yes, this is sort of a catch-22. So all your electronic equipment and all of that, to me, it is an aid. It's not proof. You know, EMF meters and K2s and thermometers and all of that's great. You know, I mean, for instance, right? Someone says, "Oh God, the temperature's dropped dramatically in this corner." By God, you know, and someone shines their laser thermometer, and all it does, as you all know, is take the temperature of the wall where the little red dot is. But so from that point of view, okay. But if you got yourself a probe, and you dangled that probe with the thermometer in the area where the person said the temperature had dropped, and it recorded a drop in temperature, great. But all it does is tell you that the temperature's dropped. It doesn't tell you there's a ghost there. No. So I'm not a great believer. But then when I say that, I also, because for me, the word ghost is it needs to go, and it needs to be called energy, because that's what it's all about. We are all energy, and one of the easiest way, a much easier way for a ghost to make contact with you than talking or whistling, because hang on, guys, they haven't got a voice box anymore, you know. So from that point of view, so one very easy way of them doing anything is what they do when they affect equipment, electronic equipment, lifts. The number of ghost stories to do with lifts, light bulbs, computers, TVs, and K2 meters. How easy is that for an energy to affect another form of energy? Easier than throwing a stone across the room, in my opinion, or tapping, knocking, growling. But you know, that's me, guys. I'm a skeptic that believes in ghosts.
Well, we set up very much like you. We don't as such employ mediums to come along with us. So we have an all manner of equipment, don't we? Where we try and sort of, I suppose we always sort of said that no one really knows conclusively what works, so we just try a bit of everything. So we have the K2 meters and the temperature, but we don't. From our events, it's all us really, and we always say the best piece of equipment is us.
Yeah, I think so. But of course, the problem with us, each of us, none of us can prove any of it.
No,
it's what's in your perception, what you've seen, heard, sensed, felt, smelt, and you cannot, unfortunately, take it. You can't prove it. And here's something I find quite fascinating.
Richard, my point of view on that would be that it's like most things. I mean, people might refer to religion, but when it comes to the paranormal, you're right. You're never going to get absolute proof, but you will get to a point where you can say, you know, I've experienced enough that I can make an informed decision.
I that's me for a start, and yes, I absolutely agree with you on that one. But here's the fascinating thing about it: no matter how much proof that you've evidence is the better word, evidence that you gather, you tell someone else, most people still won't believe you, right? But you know, if you went into a courtroom and you're 12 of you sat there as members of the jury, and they brought in a witness that saw that person put that bag of money in their back pocket or something, you believe them, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Isn't that strange? But if someone told you that they'd seen a ghost, they'd have too much to drink that night, or they're overtired. So why won't we believe what people have been saying for the best part of God knows how long, at least 1,000 years and beyond?
Yeah, definitely.
But we don't.
And
I find it.
think some of these people are good friends or family, and they're people you would absolutely trust. They could tell you anything, and you would absolutely believe them. But when it comes to them saying, "Oh, I've seen this figure," or
no way,
something not
no,
really.
Yeah, if they were driving home, if they were driving home that night and said a bloke actually tried to nick my purse out of, open my car door and pick, you believe them, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But say if a ghost walked across them on their way home at 2 o'clock in the morning,
definitely.
I don't know. I don't know. I find it very strange. Very strange.
So talking to people at home now, if you got any questions for ourselves, got any questions for Richard, this is a good opportunity to ask what you want. Oh, there we go. We've got some questions now from Donna. What do you think?
Do you think
box is?
Oh, good question. I hear them all the time. I've got one. I've got one. I have. Have I used it? Yeah, I think so. I think I have. Again, I believe there is a possibility that they can influence spirit boxes, and I have to say they're a very good tool for using when you're doing a public event, because it keeps people interested while they're sat watching paint dry, doesn't it?
So yes,
you've
had a spirit box work, Richard?
Sorry, I've never had any. No, not really. And when I've been with other people, and I thought, well, no, I've never really. I'm sure I know people will have done. People have got some really good stuff from them, but I haven't, and I've never really heard anything there. But you see, I'm not a great believer in EVP either. Oh dear. Really? So, well, everything I've ever heard, to be quite honest with you, is they're always telling you to get out, aren't they? Why?
Richard, we'll forward you some of ours.
Yeah, I'm sure there is some good stuff. I'm sure there is. Sure there is. They call me Doubting Thomas, but it's not. I'm not, because I'm a huge believer in. I know there's something in it. I know that. And I know there are. I mean, I was told a few years ago that the messages, radio messages, even from the Second World War, from aeroplanes and stuff, they're still there. They're still out there. They're in the atmosphere, and that means they are. This stuff is you are capable of picking it up. And I was told that so one way that astronauts know when they're coming back into the Earth's atmosphere is when they start picking up messages that are still floating around the atmosphere.
Okay.
So our voices could. Yeah, there's a It's all possible.
So from an EVP point of view, then, Richard, have you never caught an EVP, or you never caught?
Oh,
that.
Yes. Not a lot. I mean, one of the best ones I've ever done. And do you know what? We've only ever done it once. I came up with this brilliant idea. It was a paranormal group at the jail, and I'd never done it before. And we were in the room, the day room, where the fire is, which was originally called the association room, and that was the room where the condemned were brought to say goodbye to their family. That's mums, dads, brothers, sisters, children, wives, husbands. I actually came in that room to say goodbye to the person before they were hanged the following morning. And only once I've done it. I've never done it again. I don't know why. I sat in there with a digital recorder, and I sort of said, there's only one word in this room that really would have mean anything to anybody, and that's goodbye. And we got an absolutely perfect goodbye come back on the digital recorder.
Oh, amazing.
And I haven't even got a copy of it. They went away with it. We were all, wow, whoopee, but I didn't even get a copy of it. I can't even remember the name of the group. But I've never done it again, and I should do. So next time you're down there, guys, you need to have a go at that.
Yeah.
So that was quite good. That was quite good.
Excellent. I think from an EVP point of view, I think for me it's trying to get an intelligent response like that. That meant something to you because the word was relevant, and that's how we try to start.
Yeah, but the get out stuff, go, get out, go. I'm sorry, I don't. What? Here's a big one. Sorry about it. Yeah, why on earth should you ask a ghost if you want us to go? and when they say go, we're tapping, tap twice if you want us to go. Oh God, come on, guys, pick up all the stuff. We're going. We've travelled 250 miles to get here. We've got to go now.
It's so true. Yeah, so true.
Yeah, dear.
We all fall out of it, though, don't we?
Yes. Yeah, I'm afraid so. Do not ask if you want it to go. If it wants you to go.
Definitely. We don't mean it, do we? We're never going to go anywhere. Like I said, we travel.
No.
We travel all up the country to go and do it.
Yeah.
If you are asked to leave, even if you haven't asked the question and you're told get out or whatever, I think it's okay to say why. Why do you want me to leave? I don't think that's been.
Yeah, I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. But I think if you actually say, "Do you want us to go?" and it says yes, and that's it. Yes. End of the night. Off you go.
Definitely. Is there any more questions from home? So there is. So we've got another question from Eileen.
Oh, what has been your most memorable paranormal experience? Oh gosh, where do I start?
How long we got?
Seen a ghost, heard a ghost, sensed a ghost, been touched up by a ghost. No, one of the best things ever has to be. I still say cabin 340 of the Queen Mary.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah.
That was me. Yeah. That was proof positive, and that was almost haunted, and I know full well it was real. To hear, well, the noise in the middle of the night in the cabin, and then when I got home back to England, and Kieran's computer, which had been on all night, we heard the footsteps going around my bed, and the little child's voice twice go, "Mummy."
Yeah.
Oh God! I mean that was real. That was very.
Shows, I think.
That was very, very, very good. That was. I'll take that with me to the grave because that was. That frightened.
They don't let people stay in the room, do they? When they on the ship, they rent. Obviously, it's a hotel, isn't it now?
Yeah.
And
yes,
I'm pretty sure they don't let people stay in that room.
That's the whole point. You see, it's unbelievable. It's a hotel, very, very posh hotel, and yet the reason they don't use that cabin anymore is because so many people fled the cabin in the middle of the night because of what happened. So they're now losing revenue because they don't use it.
I'd love to
discount.
I would definitely say that, yeah.
Oh, exactly. But I tell you something else. They don't rent it. Well, they didn't rent it out to ghost groups.
No.
I mean, I
I think they're
don't
missing the
actually
trick there.
know. I'm not sure if you can. They do their own. They do their own ghost hunts all the time, but I don't know. I don't know whether they actually do night vigils there. I haven't a clue about that. But regardless of that, as far as I know, they don't exploit it, for want of a better word.
No.
And it's to me, you know, incredible. Incredible room. It's one of the best things that ever happened to me. That was, it really was.
So,
And I went back again.
Did you?
Yeah, I went back
Brave man.
on the. I went back on the night of Children in Need with Terry Wogan, and we were going to do a live stream from cabin 340 back to the studio with Terry Wogan, until we realised when we did it, of course, that we were about 7 or 8 hours different. So I went with a Pudsey bear, which is actually still up there on the. There it is. The Pudsey bear that I took to cabin 340.
Is it?
Behind me.
Excellent.
Asda gave it me before I went. And I spent the night, and something happened again. All the taps came on, and the toilet flushed.
Oh, really?
And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Yeah. They don't. If you needed the toilet or the bathroom, you had to another cabin. You couldn't use that one. And there's me sat up in the middle of the night talking to the bear, saying, "Did you hear that?"
So, Richard, there's another question on there from Norma Malcolm.
Oh, yes. Yes. Hi, Mr. Felix. I have been on a number of investigations that wanted a door slamming, a noise to make me jump. Never happened yet, and I'm a medium. Oh, well, I mean, you see, again, as a medium, Norma, I don't know why a ghost would want to slam a door to make you jump. Because they should be talking to you rather than slamming doors on you, I would have thought. Because you see, that's the whole point. I do think one of my many phrases is well, this Norma, you won't fear it because you're a medium, but the profession of a ghost, in my opinion, is not to scare you. So I don't think a ghost, a spirit, whatever we want to call it, would want to do that to you anyway. Because it's there to talk to you, for want of better words, I think.
No, I think that's a good answer. On the panel here, I mean, have you ever had door slams? We've had instances of it, haven't it? But not on request, or it's
no, usually when you're not expecting it.
Never actually seen. Well, I kind of go with what Richard is saying, that the majority of spirits are just trying to get your attention, and they want to be noticed. Now, if you're a medium, I'm guessing that's easier for them. But for us, we're not. I would have thought so. If you want to get my attention, you're going to have to do something. So either set the equipment off, maybe make a sound. Yeah. But with a medium, that's going to be easier for them, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, pretty sure. So. Yeah.
It's difficult, though, obviously, not being a medium. It's difficult to relate to that side of things as well. In fact, it's an area that fascinates me, but it's one of them where it's a really hard thing to understand if you haven't had that ability to be able to see people or hear people. So I'm almost envious.
It's a gift.
I'd love to.
Yeah. It's a gift. It's a gift that I think we all have the ability, every one of us, but most of us will never rise to it or be able to do it. But I believe it's there in exactly the same way as we are actually all capable of being able to play the piano without reading music. But most of us will never do that. But
I have a
some
piano,
people can.
I definitely can't play.
A gift.
And I've tried.
The difference, of course, between the person that can play the piano that can't read music and the medium is that, unfortunately, for the medium, they can't prove it.
Yeah.
But the pianist, just lifts the lid and starts playing a tune without music in front of them. But it's a gift. we all have different abilities and gifts, and mediumship, I believe, to be one of them.
Definitely. So do you think do you think that's something that we can be taught then? Because I know that there are some medium circles you can go to. They say they can sort of unlock your abilities and so on. Is that something you believe in then, Richard? You could, if you dedicated yourself to it, you could unlock that.
Yeah, I think it's possible. And I suppose in the same way as you could go to a piano teacher. Yeah, really. But then again, I don't think that they could teach you to play without music. They could teach you to read music and teach you to play the piano, but I don't think that they could unlock your abilities to play without music. Yeah, I believe that mediums, that the teachers of mediumship can help you to unlock your hidden abilities. I think.
Interesting. You think?
I'm not sure.
I think we might have some more questions. Is there more questions from home? We've got loads of questions, I think, Richard, so we're going to try and rattle through them while we've got you with us.
That's fine. No problem.
So next one's from D.
Does anyone know the answer as to how you can tell an orbs? Oh boy.
Here we go.
Interesting one,
that was on my list of things.
Very interesting question. For me, the jury's out big time. Yeah, I believe that most orbs are dust particles, daddy long legs, flies, bits of cobweb, light refraction, snowdrops, raindrops, yeah, various things like that, right? But so I say dust. Get yourself a high-powered torch, either in the daytime or better at night. Switch on that torch, and you will see thousands of dust particles in that beam. Orbs, thousands of them. Yeah. Right? We're breathing them in all the time. There's dust everywhere. Right? How come that you just get one dust particle floating past the camera? And sometimes when you say, "Can you do that again?" It does. It almost does what you tell it to do. Sometimes, occasionally, and they do seem to have some form of molecular structure. But then again, does a dust particle have them? I don't know. Probably it does. I'm not sure. But you see, the fascinating thing is it only seemed to. They only seem to appear when One Most Haunted came on the scene, but also before, really, when digital photography came on the scene. And before digital photography, people reckoned that there were not, nobody ever saw orbs, apparently. But interesting one, actually, because I do see, I don't know why, but there's always people sending me pictures when they've had, and there's this. I seem to attract dust particles, daddy long legs, flies, or so I don't know, or orbs, for some reason, and I ain't got a clue what people. I mean, I tell you what, a lot of people say, because I mean, I'm no medium, I'm not psychic. I refer to myself as a psychic brick with a B. And I don't see dead people. But I do think that I am sensitive to the subject because I have respect for the subject, for them. And so there are lots of, and I don't know whether I can find it now, but there's actually a photograph taken of me a very, very long time ago with a box brownie as I was coming out of a karate club. Can't see it now. And there's a ruddy grey orb on my right hand shoulder. No, I can't see it. Which I find quite amazing because that was, Jesus Christ, 50 bleeding years ago. So I don't know. So to answer that, I can't answer the question properly. But yes, some of them are are definitely insects and things. But I think, you see, in other words, is that, if I'm saying that ghosts are energy, which they are, is that orb the first manifestation of a spirit? Is that Tinkerbell? Yeah, is that it?
You're
I don't
right.
know.
I
It
mean,
could be.
so we've caught orbs that seem to be like different colours. So we've got like a really bright pink orb, and then, dare I say it, some of the orbs look like they've got faces or are definitely some sort of.
They have.
Yeah,
They have.
something in there.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
just, I think you
No,
can tell.
You can tell the difference. But why don't when you've got your night vision camera on and everything else, and this one goes past you, how come you don't get those thousands of dust particles that you get in the beam of a torch? So I don't dismiss orbs at all.
No.
More research should be done into them.
I think the problem is that the environments that we work in as well tend to be dark, damp, dusty.
Yeah, full of bugs.
We're either underground or in a castle. So yeah.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
Wendy has a really
There
good
is dust
question
everywhere.
So
Why are all paranormal programs filmed in the dark?
I should laugh at that.
I'm a medium and would love to go, but frightened of the dark. But surely, Wendy, you're not frightened of ghosts, obviously, only of the dark.
Which is okay.
Why should you be? I don't know. That's an interesting one. But yeah, there are, right. The first thing, of course, is that we all know only too well that ghosts are not creatures of the night. Whatever happened to a ghost that's made it into a ghost, it's much more likely to have happened to it in the daytime than at night.
Yeah.
Because all that used to happen, most ghosts are from an earlier period, right? Not all, but a lot. And so that means that, of course, in those days, people got up at first light in the morning and worked, and as soon as it got dark, went to bed. So, most trauma that I believe causes lots of ghostly activity happened during the daytime. So they're not. But the only thing I would say is, number one, all ghost programs film at night is more scary at night, and all ghost programs are about the scare factor, unfortunately. But the other thing I would say is that our senses are more heightened at night.
Definitely.
In the dark.
Yeah, that's the question.
So there is more possibility of us perceiving something within our perception at night rather than in the daytime.
Yeah.
But I saw a ghost at 20 past 3 on a Friday afternoon.
Most people's paranormal experiences will be during the day as they're going about their own business. They're not looking for it.
Yeah.
But like I said, they're not.
That's when it normally happens to you.
Night.
Yeah.
I mean, a big part of why we do it at night is because we can control the variables a bit more. We haven't got the usual daytime interference of traffic and people, and so we can monitor that a bit better.
And don't forget, you're at work in the daytime.
Yeah.
So the only chance most people have got to do ghost hunting is at night.
Definitely.
And of course, most properties and places that you go to are open in the daytime, and so you can't do it now. But that's beside the point. But ghost programs do it at night because it's more scary.
Yeah, agreed. Definitely, it's one question we get asked all the time. All the time. But we agree it's in the long lines, really, don't we? That you can heighten your senses a bit more.
Yeah. You have pubs, for example. You have to start very, very late because you have to kick everyone out, and then
can't go until 11 o'clock. Question from Phil.
Yep.
Mediumship invariably gives proof of survival after physical death, which on research can often be verified where historical evidence is concerned. Yeah, absolutely. That's back to the same old, isn't it? The history and ghosts so much go together. But I absolutely agree that mediumship does give proof, and there's no doubt about, in my mind, that there is survival after material death, physical death. Because the thing is that we are nothing but energy, and you can't destroy energy. First law of whatever, I can't remember the name of it. First law of Come on, guys. E equals mc squared.
Relativity.
You can neither create nor destroy energy. You can change its, alter its state, but you cannot destroy it. So that which is you, which is, and I'm not talking about the physical body. I'm talking about the spiritual body, the ego, the energy, the consciousness, the mind, which is you, has to go on. The physical body is energy and becomes fertilizer for daffodils. the body, but that which is that's within, that one word, you, has to go on and does, but I don't know what form. I'm working on it, but I'm not sure yet. If I prove it too quick, I'll be out of the job, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. We don't need to prove it too quickly.
No. Keep them guessing.
Definitely. So we have about 10 more minutes, Richard, people at home. So keep
yeah.
liking and sharing the show. But get some more questions into us. So we've got a question from Jilly now. So there we go.
Yeah. Spirit. Oh, I've got one here from Jilly Luna. Spirits probably sit around going, "Oh no, buckle up, lads, more Ghostbusters." That's at home, minding their own business. And in comes a group. Better start tapping and rattling chains, or they'll never leave. Well, there's one way. Just tell them to leave.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's a great comment.
Yeah, like it, love it. They actually, I have to say, that is something that must frustrate the spirits beyond anything. The fact that, you know, every Saturday night at the Skirrid Inn, or every somebody else, you know, they're not just come for the spirits behind the bar, have they? They've come for a lot more.
Yeah, get bored of us. Here we go again.
Yeah, I wonder. They must do.
They must do, I reckon.
I think we do tend to get better results when we try to do something a bit different.
Yeah, definitely.
You go off the normal script of saying, "Are you there?" Instead, use history to try and work out who you'd like to actually try and speak to, and start talking about that person.
Yeah, that's true. That's good.
There. And it tends to be a little bit more responsive rather than just going in very generic thing.
Is there anybody there? Yeah.
Yeah, we've also started to introduce like period music. We've investigated some old hospitals where I know Andy and Beth put together the sound of the old hospital, you know, so an award, and we've had some really good responses for that.
That's great.
We're going to play this audio, the soundtrack, and then go in after that, and we get some really good responses up.
We really do.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. Good thing. Yeah. I did it at we did it in Craignos Castle.
Yes.
Adelina Patti, and I took a CD with me of No Place Like Home, because that was her song, and we played it in the theatre, which was quite. I don't remember anything happening, unfortunately, but it was, you know, it's a very good idea. It's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Trigger on
Adelina, who wrote it there, and it's all about her place there, and she was a recluse, wasn't she? So that meant so much to her there.
Yeah.
I believe we've caught. We did the same thing and played the music, and I believe we've caught an EVP after that, or some sort of voice after it, almost like a bit of a singing. It's really, really strange.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we think we may have caught either her or someone enjoying the music.
Wow,
which is good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's an interesting one. That is. Yeah. Gina, hello, Gina. How are we doing? What's the funniest thing on investigation that's happened on a public vigil? Oh dear, public. I'm sure Gina will be able to tell me. I don't know. I mean, I can't think of anything particularly funny that's happened on a public one. But the funniest thing that ever happened to me ever on a vigil was on Most Haunted, when we did an investigation in the West Midlands, the old manor house in I think it was West Bromwich. And we went into the haunted ladies' toilets, because so much, you guys probably realise, everyone knows, so many toilets and bathrooms are haunted. And there was this ghost story about the ladies' toilets. And we went in to investigate the ladies' toilets. There was me, Derek, Yvette, and I think John Dibley, the camera guy. and as we walked in, we heard this noise as if something was spitting at us. Really made us jump. It's and it frightened, really made us jump. We're in the dark, and then we got this smell of like roses or something. And I remember we all fled to one side, and I actually think I was holding hands with Derek, because Derek ran as well as we did, and it really made us jump. And then all of a sudden we realised that it was one of those machines that as soon as you open the door and walked in, it spits perfume out of the thing. And I mean, I collapsed. I was in hysterics. I collapsed on the floor. And I was kicking my legs and I'm down, screaming, laughing my head off, and then got up and backed onto the wall. And as I backed onto the wall, I backed into the hand dryer, which went off, and we all went ballistic again. And I mean, it really was, and it was it's definitely the funniest thing that's ever happened to me. Brilliant. I was in hysterics. I couldn't stop laughing. It was really funny, that was. But that wasn't a public vigil, unfortunately. That was the most haunted one. It was a good one, that was.
Yeah, it sounded excellent. Is there any more questions, Richard? We've got some more questions coming through while we've got you with us.
No problem.
Can't see him yet.
I can't see anything.
There we go.
Oh, hang on. Is there a place you wouldn't
that's a good one.
Go back to? Wow. There's lots of places I would love to go back to. I'm trying to think. Nothing. No. There's one or two places I'm not allowed to go back to because of. No, that's not true. Because there were quite a few places on Most Haunted that we weren't allowed to go back to. But that's for another time. No, I can't think of anywhere. There's places where, of course, that very little happened. But no, I can't think of anywhere. Although there were places that things happened to me that frightened me, because I'm frightened of ghosts. But what am I doing this for? So, no, yeah. No, I can't think of anywhere I wouldn't go back to. Yeah, I think there's yeah. I can't think of anywhere I wouldn't go back to.
No worries. Another question? Yeah, we've got Tim.
Yeah, have you ever had materialization whilst doing one of your ghost hunts? No. You mean actually something materializing in front of me, I presume is what you mean, Tim. No, but obviously only in Derby Jail at 3:20 when a spirit glided past me. But it didn't materialize because it just came past me, which I think is different. So no, I don't think I have.
No, you guys.
But there's plenty of time.
Full bodied colour materialisation and not shadows, because we've seen a few shadows, got a few on camera.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Again, I mean, we've seen apparitions, but not anything develop in front of me.
No, that would be quite something, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
No,
yeah. I've spoken to quite a few people that have seen stuff like that. Yeah, but not me. No, not yet.
Not yet. That's why we keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's too right.
Anyone else?
Any more for anyone? I watch.
Oh, Ghost Hunt series. Yeah.
How do we know which series are real and which are not? None of them are real.
No comment.
None of them are real. I'm sorry. It's all. Oh dear, I should be lynched for this. No, that's not true. That's not true at all. We are on all ghost programs, whether it be Most Haunted or Ghost Adventures or whatever it happens to be. We are going into allegedly haunted locations, or yeah, allegedly, but haunted location. People have seen ghosts, heard ghosts, and so that's the start. But how much is real on those shows? I mean, it's pretty obvious that stuff's going to happen on those shows. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happened to me on Most Haunted that I can't explain. But remember that we were in a haunted location. or haunted locations. So things, in my opinion, are inevitably going to happen that we can't explain, that are paranormal, whatever the word paranormal means. Because what does paranormal mean? Para is the Latin for running alongside. So it's something that's running alongside the normal that we don't quite understand yet.
Yeah.
But yes. So all these shows, there's inevitably going to things that have happened on them that are paranormal. But there are also, but of course, whatever happens is always made, is blown up out of all proportion and made out to be scary, and that's wrong, because they're not there to get you.
No. It's always a hard question. That one there.
There is evil.
Real.
So, but what's real? So, what series? The only things that I would say are definitely real are programs like when I did Great British Ghosts with I can't remember her name, the lady that does the lady, Michaela Stratton. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because we don't profess to, it's more documentary.
Yeah.
It's telling the story of. One of my favourites of all time was Strange But True with Michael Aspel. Don't know whether you guys remember that. That was remarkable. But he wasn't running away every 5 minutes. He was just telling the story, which is what I do on my DVDs. I'm just telling the story of ghosts of Lincolnshire, Leicestershire, Derbyshire, Nottinghamshire, Yorkshire, wherever it happens to be. Very seldom do I run away, although I did once on Derbyshire Ghosts. But but on the whole, there's a big difference there. Big difference.
Yeah, definitely. It's a hard one, isn't it? It's definitely a hard one, but
but it's entertainment, guys. That's the big word.
Yeah,
and they are entertaining.
And
none of us would be here now if it hadn't been for Most Haunted.
Yeah. And we wouldn't either, don't you know, Richard? Because it was something that inspired us. We wouldn't be either. Because it was something that inspired us.
Yeah.
Whether you love it or hate it, it's where we came from.
Yeah, it's so true. So it's done a big, it's created more argument, more debate, more discussion, and more research than any ghost program ever has in the whole history of ghost programs.
Yeah.
But, well done, Most Haunted. But unfortunately, it degenerated over the years into Scooby-Doo.
Richard, we've got time for one more question, if that's okay with you.
No probs. Yeah, go on then.
I'm going to let you go to the toast.
Yes. What about trigger objects that go off for no reason, especially those that have to be moved for the lights to flash? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, number one, I'm a great believer in trigger objects because whatever it happens to be, if it's, prime example for trigger objects are reenactors on battlefields. Because, you've got a young soldier from whatever period it happened to be that crawled away into a ditch and died, calling for his mum, as they always do. His body was never found. He got no closure, no laid to rest, and his spirit is still wandering the battlefield, as so many spirits on battlefields are. He actually probably doesn't even realise he's dead, and he's wandering the battlefield, wondering where his mates are, his regiment is, and all of a sudden, on the anniversary of the battle, a whole group of soldiers in red coats appear on the battlefield. Oh, they're back! My mates, my regiment. Yeah. No, they're not. No, they're reenactors. They're trigger objects.
Definitely.
But
you still have the cross at Derby Jail with that was moved. The trigger object you have in Derby Jail.
Oh God, yes.
Cross?
Yes, I do.
I know.
Oh yeah, that was the one that moved on Most Haunted, and that was I was there. That was absolutely real.
So they,
but it was
on paper in one of the cells, didn't they?
Yeah, and it moved, but it only moved about that much. I couldn't believe that. Is that it? Is that as good as it gets? But that was good, and that was real because I was there, and I know they were jumping up and down, cheering, patting each other on the back. Really, because that was one of the first things that happened really paranormal. That there was, but unfortunately, they let themselves down again because you couldn't see both ends of the piece of paper,
Yes.
Yeah, that was the problem with that.
which was a
And I think,
shame.
yeah,
But
and that's where
it
the
was
sketches come into it,
fascinating
yeah.
the way it tended to bubble up underneath the paper,
Yeah.
which wasn't possible. Wasn't
I've not seen
possible.
that. I've never seen that. I haven't seen that again. Yeah,
We
but
tried
it's-
to
That
yeah,
was-
recreate it, but
we do that on our
It
events
was
now.
good,
We draw
that.
around it, and that was inspired by Most Haunted and your guys at the jail. So we still do that now, don't we?
Yeah.
With a cross and a bit of
Yeah.
paper. We've
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've still got the cross. I don't know why I didn't get him to sign it, actually. I should have done
yeah,
that.
you should have done.
Yeah, the guy sold it then on eBay. Or perhaps not.
Excellent, Richard. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
It's been a pleasure. It's been
it's been
great.
really
I've
good.
really enjoyed it.
I
have.
will you come back again?
Yeah, Richard, will you come back on again? If we can get
Yeah,
you
of course
back
I
on
will.
again?
Yeah,
Be
no
amazing.
problem. Only too
Might-
pleased.
We might be longer than an hour next time, though. I reckon. We've got so many good stories.
Yeah,
and
by all
so many
means.
things didn't
Yeah,
ask.
get in touch, and I'm only too pleased to come back on.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
All right,
Richard.
guys.
Thank
My
you very
pleasure.
much. Cheers, Richard.
You're off
Thanks
for
a
the
lot.
cheese on toast. See
Yeah,
you guys.
cheese on toast.
Thanks a lot.
Richard. Enjoy, mate.
Cheers.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.
Excellent. I could have spoke to him for ages. I don't
Yeah,
know if he's
but-
now.
What a great start.
I know, and what an amazing guy, and like I say, so many stories, and so many. So don't know. I did 120 episodes of Most Haunted between 2002 and 2006. Like, what an amazing guy.
The amount of experience. as well.
Fascinating, isn't he?
It is
Fascinating
fascinating.
bloke. Like I say, when we went up to Derby, we spent probably a good 2 hours chatting to him, and
Yeah,
we were in awe, weren't we?
Yeah.
Just like, wow.
I think that what rubs off though is you can have any amount of knowledge, but it's the enthusiasm that comes with it,
definitely.
and that's a man who's definitely it's obvious. It's obvious the amount of enthusiasm and love of the subject that he has. So
Yeah, definitely.
it rubs off on you. So
So, guys, although Richard's gone now, we're going to still be on for about another half an hour. So, feel free to get your questions in for us. If there's questions that you submitted before and you wanted us to try and answer them, because we've got very, very similar views to Richard in terms of how we set up. We're more than welcome to answer any questions you may have for us about what we do or where we've been and so on. But yeah, if you've already submitted a question, then we can do that as well. What's that? Sorry.
We're going night vision.
We're going to go night vision, are we?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah.
Let's see if we get anything.
We've got the facility here to go night vision as well, and I think there's a couple of the shows that have been going on a Sunday and stuff have reported orbs and activity in around this building. So they were sort of saying that maybe the paranormal show and the aspect of it. We've got the board here, although we won't be doing it tonight. But we've got the board here as a bit of a trigger object as well. But
So
wow,
if you see anything behind us, then make
Yeah.
sure you let us know.
yeah. There we go. We're going dark.
there you go.
Okay.
There we go.
Wow.
Oh, we're going real night vision.
It certainly looks like I'm naked.
That is disturbing. Right?
That is definitely
I can only
disturbing.
apologise.
That's next show, isn't it?
What? Naked ghost hunting, yeah,
Naked
maybe. Yeah, I mean, the thing is with Most Haunted, I would say for ourselves, like I said, it was definitely the reason why we started Southern Ghost Sighted. We watched Most Haunted, we had all the shows,
Oh,
didn't
we were hooked.
We were
we spent
properly hooked.
hundreds on DVDs and used to sit up all night watching them.
Properly spook ourselves out with it as well, weren't we?
And
Yeah.
what I tend to do as well was before we actually go to location, scour through the episode of Most Haunted just to sort of see what was there, see the location, see what else other people had got. And that was kind of a useful starting point when we went.
Yeah.
It gives you an idea of layout as well, doesn't
It
it? When
does.
They do the scan over.
It's easy to get lost, that's for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. So yeah, we do. Yeah, we still use them. Yeah, as a reference tool now, really. Yeah. What was that? We have an orb go past, do we? Or dust, as Richard might say. But so yeah, get some questions into us, guys. What do you want to know about us? About how we set up, what we do? Like I say, we're going to be bringing this show. I say you got clothes on. I think my tattoo gives it away a little bit. Yeah, I look like I got a t-shirt on, but Andy, you got a tattoo on you of SGS team on the side.
SGS for life.
Yeah. Have you ever felt in real danger?
Well, there's practical danger, and then there's kind of the spiritual danger, isn't
Yeah.
there? So sometimes you go to a place, and if it's unknown, for example, we've not been around too much, it's, like I said before, easy to get lost. And some places we've been to have been a bit sketchy with regards to they've been abandoned for a while, and you might end up falling through a floor.
Yeah.
But spiritually, I don't personally think I've ever felt like I'm in danger at all. Even when something's happened that's been maybe a little bit physical,
Yeah.
it's always felt more like something was trying to get my attention as opposed to something which is actually wants to cause you harm.
Well, I suppose when we set up, I think in terms of danger, I think you got horror films to thank for that as well, because it creates that sort of scare factor. When we set up an event, I'll maybe sort of flip between one group and another group, and like just walking between the events, you're always looking behind you, or you think you hear footsteps, because we're basically inviting you onto a ghost hunt. We're turning the lights off, telling the place is haunted, and then doing a Ouija board. You can't get any more suggestive than that. I had an experience when we first started out in a pub called the Red Lion in Southampton. We've been investigating there. It's a really old pub. There was hang-ins there, wasn't there? So like that. Sorry.
Yeah,
It used to be a court. Yeah.
A skeleton in the chimney.
And what's that? Sorry.
Found a skeleton in the chimney.
Yes.
When they were doing restoration.
Yeah.
I didn't find it.
No, I was going to say, well done. But, yeah, so what happened was I'd set up and the sort of teams, and then the owner came up to me and said, I think one of your team members have fallen asleep in the garage. So I sort of looked at him and went, listen, everyone's accounted for. I don't think someone's asleep. So we walked towards the garage door, the internal door, and you could hear like a snoring or a breathing, but it was around Christmas time, so we thought, we thought that maybe someone's just fallen asleep on a Christmas party, and so I said, listen, rather than us all run in and scare them, let's like take a bit of a step back, go and give me the key. I'll go in there and I'll sort of softly wake them up. And the three of us heard the breathing, and no word of a lie. As I went to open the door was sort of pulled from me, and I was with the owner and the owner's son. The owner fell backwards. The other guy, at one point, I felt like I got pushed into a door. And honestly, it was pandemonium. It was I was properly frightened.
It's not the biggest of places.
No,
it's
it's
all
not.
wooden floors, so it sounded like they were crashing through the floor.
Honestly, the young guy that was with us smashed his mouth. Where he fell backwards, he smashed his mouth. And then the owner said to me, "Did you set that up?" And I was like, "Listen, whatever we just experienced." And all it felt like something sort of lunged at us. And it was really strange, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. So literally, I said to Lee, "We've got to go back." That didn't ever scare me or about danger. I just thought, "Got to go back." And sort of but things like that have happened. So from a danger point of view, I think that's probably one of the scariest things that have happened. But danger, probably not, I don't reckon. I'm more scared of the living, I think, on events where you've got tunnels and you're more apprehensive that someone's down there.
Kids outside with torches.
Yeah, definitely than danger. Well, no, thank you for your question. Is there any other questions, Richard?
Yeah.
Oh, good news, we've got loads. Guys, remember, keep liking and sharing. Keep liking and sharing the show. Do your best to get us out there. So, Julie, who is your best influence inspiring you to paranormal?
Go
on, you go.
Yeah,
Please,
so, there's an author called Peter Underwood for me. He's president for Life of the Ghost Club, and he's been investigating for years and years. And I used to check out lots of his books when I was a kid from the library and just read them cover to cover, take them out again and again, because there was something about the way he approached the paranormal which was just intriguing. The fact that he just covered every base. He was really interested in the history of it, the science of it, the spirituality of it, and that captured me really early on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then much later, that's when I got involved with it. But
Yeah.
Peter Underwood for me.
What are you, Leon?
Probably most haunted.
It has.
It's got to be for me. It was sort of out at the age when I was just sort of getting a bit interested in all that, and just got hooked on the shows. There was nothing else about.
No.
No sort of paranormal shows. That was the main sort of one, and yeah, just hooked by that and just piqued my interest. And same with you. And we just went from there really.
About yourself, Michael. You. Me. I was going to say me, but I thought that was a bit conceited, so I was hoping you'd say that.
Okay, I'll take mine back. It's down.
Mine's me. No, I'm joking. No, seriously?
I don't know. I think it's something that you either have an interest in or not. I mean, Andy's answer is great, you know. I mean, obviously it goes back to Most Haunted because that's when the idea of going into these places and trying to accumulate the evidence, you know, and document it. That's pretty much where it came from for us. But
we spent the first 3 years of Southern Ghost Society following around different places they've been to.
Yeah, we definitely did. We would look at a venue.
Calling up every venue they've been to. We watched them on the show and then straight on the phone.
And you get, as we were saying earlier about, people you trust tell you stories, so why wouldn't you believe them? You know, they tell you the things that have happened to them.
Yeah.
grabs your attention. And you see, I mean, I grew up as a kid thinking, I want to see a ghost. I want to see a ghost. You know.
Yeah.
You've done well. You got there. You were nearly there.
Still there.
Excellent. Thank you for that question, Julie. Next question. Stace. Okay. This is a question we dread, and no matter what preparation you do. So, which is your favourite venues and why? I'll start this because I like the sound of my own voice.
Yeah.
No, I'll start this. I think this question is double loaded. So I think that I have a favourite venue for venue, as in the way the venue makes you feel, the way, you know, and then I have a favourite venue from an experience point of view. So again, if we were sort of chatting it, I love Preston Manor. Preston Manor for me in Brighton is an old manor house. But it just fits how it would have been. So the lounge, there's a picture of the lounge in 1912, I think it's 1912, I think it is. And if you look at the picture and look at the lounge, it sits exactly the same. The only difference is the rug on the floor, but the rest, every picture on the wall is the same. And the lady that owned the house had a love for the paranormal. She even had a seance room. So I think if anywhere is going to be haunted, somewhere is old, it was a place that was loved.
Great. And had a body found underneath the patio, which was meant to be a nun's. Yeah. There's amazing stories.
So I love that from a venue point of view. I like venues that, like prisons and stuff like that, where you go to and you think, wow, something that wows you. I mean, you think about, you know, that every prison has a connection to the craze, but be able to sit in one of the cells where the craze would have been, or you're going to go to the condemned man cell where you think people have sat in here waiting to die. I think so they're my two in terms of maybe not a specific venue, but in terms of like sort of a group of venues. Prisons are quite cool.
Yeah, it's got to be Porviglia in Venice.
Oh man,
it's just
didn't take us long to get onto Porviglia.
Probably never go back to.
Definitely not.
Spent years trying to get there, and it didn't really let us down. It was phenomenal.
It was mind blowing. And I think we've probably got a whole show on Porviglia coming up. I think we could talk about it. We've got evidence and videos there. Yeah, I think
it's just phenomenal. But in the UK, mine changes every week. Someone asked me like from week to week, and it just changed. But I think Galleries of Justice for me, just because you've got the prison, the courtroom. It's just levels and levels. It's just a brilliant venue. You've got everything there. You got
What about 30 East Drive?
Oh, see, mate,
there's another show on 30 East Drive, I think, as well. That's a massive show. Andy, where would you say then?
I quite like the ones we go to a lot. Some say we can actually work on what we find there and try and build on the evidence and the contacts we make. So, locally, like Port Widley, where we've been there well over 30 odd times, it's a really good place to investigate because we know it. We know how it works. We know what works and what doesn't, but we're still surprised quite often as well by new things working. So I quite like that one because of the work we've been doing and what we've been getting.
Yeah, good job. Go on in, mate.
That is a tough one.
It is the worst question we get asked.
The venues I absolutely love and fall in love with very quickly are the ones where we're lucky and we get invited to new places. So they're as far as investigation goes, they're virgin venues. They've not been investigated before. So we're kind of there first. Well, certainly within living memory, they've never been done. Certainly not in the way we would do it. So, I mean, Northwood House in the Isle of Wight, we've been there a few times. The first time we went there, and it's a magnificent venue. And I think we all enjoyed that as well. We enjoyed the history of the building side of it, the architecture.
Yeah.
You know, we're always going to get something out of these events. You know, we had apparition that night, spotted 3 times by 3 different people.
Yeah.
We've had some excellent, Class A EVPs there.
I call that that piece of music which just appeared out of nowhere in the servants' quarters.
Yeah.
So can I explain that?
Yeah, so that was a phenomenal night. I mean, you get the Pier Bar and Hotel in Bognor, which I mean, we had the night there, and we didn't move out of one. We was in the office all night. We didn't move because it's the same again. The Class A EVPs we got, and also the because we had the backstory to the guy Shane, whose pub hotel it was. We had his backstory and the amount of things we had come through that were linked to that. I mean, it was the venue that, if I hadn't already been a believer, that would have tipped it. That would have been the one. I've seen enough now. And then you threw in East Drive as well. It's such a hard question.
I know.
If I'd have thought
Yeah.
that one first,
That's such a contentious one, though, isn't it?
Thanks,
East Drive.
Stacey.
Yeah,
We've
cheers,
definitely got to show. Yeah, thanks, Stace, for that question. Next one. I feel like we're on an interview, do you? So, what's your definition of a haunted place? Who's going to answer this one?
Andy.
I reckon it's Andy's.
Go on, Andy.
It's my question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your definition?
I would say actually it's a couple of things. Here.
Yes.
So I would start off with one which it's got an interesting backstory and people have witnessed something.
Yep.
For me, there's two different types of witness. So a primary witness is someone who's wasn't looking for ghosts. They were working there, for example, and then they see something or something happens to them. Then they tell someone else, or a newspaper gets hold of it. And then after that point, people then think that place is haunted. So when they go there, anything that happens they can't quite explain becomes a ghost.
Yeah.
So we meet somewhere that's initially haunted is somewhere where someone's had a primary experience and they weren't expecting. Beyond that, when we go and investigate it, we go to places quite a few times before we think what we're doing isn't working here so much. But so for us, then when we go and actually get things which can then back up these claims or our own new experiences, that would make it haunted for me.
Yeah.
Not necessarily being able to then say what it is, but what people have experienced there or what we've experienced there.
And for me as well, I think that I wouldn't be put off by a place that had no reported activity. If it's something that's got age, so if there's a castle that had no, it had seen battle, but had no, I would still go there and I'd still investigate it the way we investigate things, because I believe that just because it hasn't got a history of paranormal, and some of the history of paranormal is so questionable anyway. Actually, you can be led down the garden path.
The amount of coaches that go up to manor houses is just crazy.
Exactly, and
we shouldn't have to drive home with that coaches.
It's true though, so yeah. I think that's well put, Andy.
I don't think it can be a very modern building, but the history behind that below it, sort of thing, that ground can be.
East Drive is a good example.
Yeah.
So it's just a random house, isn't it, in the middle of the street?
Yeah.
I say potentially anywhere could be haunted because I don't believe that all spirits are grounded anyway. And by doing what we do, inevitably we catch attention. So they're going to come and have a look.
So Eileen, East Drive is a real contentious issue. There are
you hear that a lot, don't you? Yes, some people have seen it a lot.
Yeah, there are. I would say there are probably more people who doubt the activity than it is that believe it. But I can honestly say, and if you is that video on YouTube yet? Is that one of the?
We've got two on YouTube.
Have we? Yeah. So we've been there 3 times. We've had a relatively quiet night. Honestly, it was the first time we went there. Some of the stuff we caught was just insane. So we've got a video again. So we went there early. So we got there about 5 o'clock. We locked the front door, and we were expecting I won't tell you the full story. No, we were expecting the person next door to come and sign the disclaimers and give us or read us the rights, because all over the walls there is so suggestive, and you can't do this and you can't do this. We walked in there. And from the off, myself and Lee went upstairs, and as we wandered upstairs, there was a doll. Again, very suggestive. A doll was on the bed. As we walked through the room, the doll fell over, and then naturally they're on floorboards, so the doll is going to fall. It was a very light, like a Barbie doll, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So anyway, put it back up, wandered off, came back in, and this is like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We weren't even really, we had no cameras on, do anything like that. Doll's fallen over again. So anyway, I picked the doll back up and walked away, and then it fell over. So I sort of said, right, okay, are we dismissing this because it's so suggestive? Are we dismissing it? So I said to Lee, turn your phone on. So then Lee turned his phone on and recorded. And I say, listen, if that's you trying to get our attention, if this is really you, I don't believe it is, but if this is really you, can you knock that doll over to me again? And then I said, I'm going to count to 3, and I'd like you to do it. You need to do it on 3 for me to believe it's really you. So I said 1, 2, and as I got to 3, we've caught a voice it's a child's voice that says, it's too hard. It's too hard. And we've got the video on that as well. It's really, really strange. Like we weren't even investigating. And I literally pulled that room apart. If the owners are watching, I'm sorry, but literally pulled the mattress apart. You see me run straight into the room because it sounds too good. It just sounds too good. But yeah, so we had that. We were live streaming the night, weren't we, as well? We had, just throughout the night, we had lots of things. Another again, before we'd even started, we were live streaming. So we wanted to black out a room to sort of do a bit of an opening and record some video. So we went into the master bedroom, and because it was like probably 5, 6 o'clock, it was still light. So the owner had already warned not to touch stuff, but we wanted to black out the room. So I took the bed sheet off the bed. I took the bed sheet off the bed and blacked out the window, so put it over the window. And just as I did that, we heard a voice call up the stairs going, "Hello." So automatically, I'm thinking, "Oh crap, we're going to be kicked out of here before we even start." So I ripped it down, put it back on. The 4 of us are in the room. We go downstairs, no one was there. And when we went to look in the door, we had the key in the back door, in the door, so she couldn't have got in if she wanted to. Naturally, we checked around, checked outside, but there was nothing. But that literally, we didn't think it was paranormal at all. We were like, you know, we're going to get kicked out of here already without even signing the contracts.
You're probably not going back now, though, right?
Maybe not. Yeah,
we didn't expect a lot at all, did we?
We didn't. No, we
the
didn't.
stories. We went there. We were going to watch the film, weren't we?
Yeah.
Going to sit down in the house.
We didn't have time, did we?
with everything that happened straight away. We just went straight into it.
We probably got 5 or 6 really good, decent videos.
You were very sceptical about that one.
Very sceptical.
The weird thing was, it's the only place that you come back to, I've had a great night. But you were still sceptical.
Definitely.
Because of the
It's just too good to be true.
Sure, we can do that, can't we?
Yeah, so...
yes, Wendy, we'll sort it.
Definitely.
So we want to try and bring what you guys want to see. So in terms of footage and stuff, we would love to do... We want to try and keep it as a bit of a rolling show. So if you want to... we go to a venue, we've got some footage we talk about, or we talk about EVPs. We do a whole show on that, and we'll bring our best EVPs. We'll give you the links to YouTube so you can watch the videos and so on. But yeah, we'll definitely show you our footage, and that's where lockdown's been really good for our team. We've built Andy and Beth have helped us build a new website. They've we've got a brand new website. We've revamped YouTube. So we've got one of the team members, Jace, who's been doing all the videos on YouTube as well. So we're trying to sort of build that and bring the activity. The problem we have is we do a 6-7 hour ghost hunt, and then next week we do another ghost hunt, and our footage keeps on backing up and backing up. So we get some really good activity that we never bring.
And we've had some downtown now, so let's take a look at it.
So yes, we've been able to do that. But just back on the East Drive point, for any of you guys out there that are skeptic, 50% of our team wouldn't go there, that have been there and had a rubbish night. So even the Southern Ghost Sighting team have got, we're sort of split down the middle, aren't we? I know that Mark, one of our team members, went there and he said it was rubbish. He didn't have anything. John went there. Did Mary go there? Was it Mary?
Yeah,
I think Mary went there, and they had nothing, absolutely nothing. But ours was mind blowing
every time
from a venue that we've been there 3 times, and you came with us, didn't you? And we just had intelligent responses. Hi, Mr. Grimshaw.
Nick, evening.
Evening, Nick.
So, think about what Richard was saying. What about doing an investigation dress up?
Nick, how you doing?
Nick, that is definitely a loaded question because you know exactly what he's like.
Oh, cheers, Nick.
So yeah, we did get caught. We might as well tell the story now. But we went to the Ragged School, and when we turned up to the Ragged School, the creator of the museum was very stern. Can't do this. You shouldn't do this. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. And was really stern. Don't want people mucking around. This and the other. We're a serious ghost group. So I'd signed the contract and I'd sort of signed the paperwork and did the risk assessment. And the owner had walked, or the guy had walked through, and then all of a sudden I turned around and he'd gone missing. Lee wasn't with us. So anyway, what Lee didn't realise is the room looped in. So by the time we got back into the room, Lee was head to toe dressed as a Victorian boy from one of the school's and it was the guy had spent the last probably last 40 minutes really barracking us about, you can't do this, you cannot do this, you shouldn't be doing this. You know, if you're not going to take it seriously. And we walk in and he's dressed head to toe as a Victorian boy. You can imagine the costume didn't fit him, but it's just like the whole.
It was a little bit.
It was the most embarrassing sort of trying to explain. Like,
I didn't think he'd be there.
The problem is the guy just didn't say anything. He just looked and shook his head in sheer disapproval. It's almost like it's worse, isn't it, when someone's more disappointed with you than they are shouting. You'd rather him shout and move on.
But
the weird thing is that night apparently was quite good.
Yeah,
it was a good night.
It was the thing with the cat ball jumping off the glass, and
yes,
there were some K2s going in a circle around a board. So it obviously worked.
That was all
we should dress you up like a small boy more often.
That's another show, that is. Yeah. Right, today, what's your most compelling piece of evidence? Wow.
This is another
hard
one.
I like the EVP we caught at Pavilla. I think that there. So we went to the island of Port Vila. We were the only people on the island. We were live streaming back to the team, and so we were in the old hospital. And bear in mind, we were on an island on our own. There is no one else around. And even the taxi driver, the boat taxi driver, wouldn't stop because he feared that he said that he can't pull up his boat because it would curse his family's fishing. So he wouldn't even pull up. So he sort of driving around and trucking our equipment off. So we went up to the main hospital and we're doing some calling out. And I sort of went down the route and said, listen, you probably don't get many people that doing what we're doing. Is there a way we can help you? Is there something we can help you with? And all of a sudden, then Andy was watching at home. He says, you need to go back and listen to your voice recorder. I think you've caught an EVP. And when we listen back to it, and again, this video is on our YouTube channel as well. Listen back to it. We capture a voice in broken English that says, I want to get out of here, or something to that effect. And it's clear, but it's actually intelligent as well, because I say, is there a way we can help you? That's the general conversation. And for it to say, I want to get out of here, that makes sense, because they would have been in prison there. There was no escape from the island. It was death, wasn't it? So it made loads of sense. So that for me has been one where you've really sort of taken a bit of a step back and think, that was amazing.
Yeah, it's the one event that even if you wanted to leave, you couldn't.
Yeah.
We had to wait till
40 minutes for the boat to turn up.
2 o'clock or whatever it was in the morning. But
the interesting thing there as well is I don't think you heard it.
No,
we didn't. No.
So it not only was an EVP on the recorder, it was an EVP coming through the live stream.
Yeah, it was odd. It's my favourite piece. We came off the island completely buzzing. We caught another few videos on there as well, but that there was just a real, to be able to sort of want to go there. And that's the problem with venues. You sort of see Most Haunted, or you want to go somewhere, and then all of a sudden you go there and it lets you down a little bit, or it's not as active what you think. That place was insane from the moment we started. For the moment we got off the island, we were buzzing, weren't we?
I'm always glad. Like, we probably can't go back there, but maybe it's good to leave a venue like that as it is.
Yeah,
never be as good again.
Maybe
you probably never recreate what we had. It was phenomenal.
What about yourself, Andy? Most compelling piece of evidence to date?
See, I'm going to focus on the compelling bit, because I like some evidence which helps us learn about this a little bit more. So I would say that Fort Woodley, they have this battlement, which is at the top. I'm not sure battlement's the right word, parapet or something military. And it's outside, and you have to go all the way up to the top of the fort to get to there. And it was quite early on, and my girlfriend Beth was standing on that parapet at the end of the night, and then she heard these footsteps come up to her and then stop. And then she did a little bit of calling out and had them walk away. So the next time we went back, I decked out that battlement. So we had a parabolic dish on one end, we had audio recorders every 10 meters down the entire length of the thing. And we went up there, left people on their own, nothing all night. At the end of the night, I go up there just to break down the equipment, just take down the parabolic dish, and then I'll hear someone walking up towards me. And I turn around to find out who it was, literally no one there. And as soon as I start turning, the footsteps get louder and louder and come right up to where I'm standing. And since that point, we also had another investigation there where I had a member of the public up there, and we went up there just to hang around and listen, see if we catch it. And that happened exact same thing again. And all three times we've managed to catch the audio, and it always sounds the same. And the interesting thing is it sounds like footsteps on gravel, loose rocks. And if anyone's ever been there, that battlement at the top is completely grass, and sometimes it's completely overgrown. So there's no gravel at all.
No.
And Dan contacted one of the people who were the curator.
Yeah, the historian there.
And said that in the Victorian era, when it was actually a fort and people were walking up and down there, the whole thing was loose shale. So we did a little bit of research, and there was instances where there was a private dimmock who fell off that battlement at that point, and someone else was hit by lightning. So I'm not sure which one it was. But the fact is that we got the same thing on 3 different occasions, and it sounds exactly the same, and it ties in with the history. That's very compelling for me.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. Over to you, mate.
For me, it's not necessarily about how impressive the interaction you get is. I mean, we've had some outstanding EVPs and we've seen apparitions, and that. It's how relevant it is to what's going on or to the backstory.
Yeah.
So for me, I mean, obviously, one of the best pieces of evidence we ever caught was at the Beer Barn Hotel.
Yes.
Where we were going for a break, and I was with Hannah, and we had a REM pod, which, if you don't know, is essentially a round box with lights on it and an aerial, and it creates a magnetic field. If it's interfered with, it sets off the lights and alarms. We just said, you know what? Should we just leave that here? Because if it gets touched, if there's any movement in here, we'll hear it. So I set it up, and just as I say, I'm just going to turn this on, you get this very heavy, very distressed breathing, and then very clear, don't turn it on.
Yeah, so
And at first we was like, that's just a strange thing to hear, but then you get the backstory about, the military and things like that, and it makes perfect sense, and that becomes an outstanding piece of evidence.
Yeah.
But then you can go to Northwood House in the servants' quarters, where I was on my own and I was calling out. And the layout of the servants' quarters is you've got a couple of rooms here, and then you've got 3 rooms down the side there. And I could hear what I thought was footsteps down that end, and I asked, can you tell me where you are? And I was doing very short EVP bursts. And when I played it back, it wasn't as loud, wasn't as clear as some of the others we've had. You could hear 1, 2, 3. I thought, that's a strange thing to say. I don't really know what that means. So I carried on for a couple of minutes, and I thought, right, I need to go and see Tim, the curator there, the guy who looks after it, and see if he can explain it to me. So I went to see him. Didn't say anything about what was going on. I just said, can you tell me anything more about the servants' quarters? He said, yeah. He said, you've got a couple of rooms as you first go in, and servants would have hot-bedded. So if you was on a break and you needed to sleep, you just found a bed. He said, as you go around the corner, those 3 rooms were for the higher ranking servants. They would have had their own rooms, and they were numbered 1, 2, 3.
There you go.
And suddenly, and then I played him the EVP, or what I call, because then suddenly, that's a great piece of evidence, because it's relevant, it means something. 1, 2, 3 on its own doesn't really mean a lot. It's nice, it's a great catch, but it doesn't mean much.
Yeah.
Then when you get the backstory to the building, that those rooms where I heard the footsteps coming from are numbered 1, 2, and 3. All of a sudden, that's relevant. That's an outstanding piece of evidence there. But yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Ali, for that question there.
Right, we have gone over. I'm more than happy for you to carry on. We've got lots of questions. Up to you guys.
Do you want to filter more questions? Yeah, we've gone over time. We were due on for about an hour and a half, but we seem to have gone over a little bit. But we don't want to obviously just leave your questions, so we'll have a look at what questions we got. We'll try and be a bit more short and sharp. So Dave, hey guys, I've known you've done events abroad. If you have the chance to investigate in America, would you? Where would you like to go? Alcatraz.
Exactly. 100%.
Short, sharp question. Alcatraz and Waverley.
Waverley Penitentiary.
Yeah.
Trans-Alleghenies would be quite good.
Yeah, I'd like to go to OK Corral.
And that's
And the birdcage.
I'm not sure I would, though.
Would you not?
No, for me, I think getting the equipment over is going to be a pain.
Okay, yes.
There's a lot of lithium, and airplanes don't like that.
No.
We have to go to stock up on a ton of AAs.
Yeah, good shout, yeah.
Oh, there's an endless list of.
It was a resounding Alcatraz, I think, is a...
Alcatraz is top of my list. Port Villa was. Done that, completed it.
Done.
So now, Alcatraz.
Cheers, Dave. Thanks for your question.
Good question, mate.
What's next? I've read these questions, just because we have to be truthful.
Say what happens next.
So Sylvia, thank you, Sylvia. Like I said, it's our first show, so it's been a bit shaky in the beginning, or we're sort of finding our feet. But like I said, we're trying to bring you some sort of real honesty in terms of what we do and how we do things, and what you see is us. So thank you for that. The feedback's brilliant. So guys, you've been to that most haunted house in the UK.
Which one?
Which one? Are you on about? I don't know. Which one is it? East Drive or something? I don't know.
Might be the Ram.
Yes, we actually were a part of the Great British. Richard said he did Great British Ghost. We did Great British Ghost with Michaela Strachan, and we did that there at the Ram, didn't we? So
yeah.
Maybe the ancient Ram. Yeah, Liz, let us know which one it is, and we'll let you know whether we've been there or not. Okay, I've been investigating for 30 years and around my own ghost for 14 years. As Southern Ghost Society, we started in 2010. 2010. So we've been investigating as a team since 2010. I would say of late the events have got less. We tend to not go to places just
especially recently.
Yes, especially recently. Yes, we've been investigating since 2010. We originally started it up don't go yet. So interesting. Sorry, Wendy. Richard's going to kill us if we're on for much longer. but yeah, we've
Well, yeah. At one point, though, like you said before, kind of you started doing a lot. And at some points, you were actually doing two on one night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
When we started building up, we were doing. We were sending Lee to one venue, and I'd go to another, and then you started to lose. It's our hobby. It's our passion. We don't get paid to do it, so it's one of them where we are literally sharing our hobby. And we got to the end of that year where we did 44 events, I think, and we just felt drained and just felt.
First year with you, I think we did 40. I think we did 40. It is 44, 46.
Yeah, and we lost the
It was
fun.
Fridays, Saturdays, and sometimes you would be in one area, I'd be in another venue. And,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
And it just the fun fell out of it. So we just thought we've almost taken the society back. So when you come on the event, you'll come on with us, you'll investigate with us, and you almost come along and share our hobby now, rather than just we don't make money from it. We don't need to do it. And that year just got a bit excited, I think, because my own fault, because I book them, but
you can't really spend any time reviewing what you
No.
got like that.
so we could have had. So we probably got EVP recorders. We could have had someone doing
Probably
hide and
like
dance
headless
on
cool
there.
in front of the building.
Or videos, but when you're doing one like two a weekend, we lost the fun in it, So at the moment we do about between 15 and 20. We do one private event, and we do sort of some public events as well. And we also do events for people that book us. But we're how long has it been now? 10 years. 10 years.
It's over 10 years, isn't it?
10 years.
I have very little concept of time. But
Okay.
I would guess I've been with you for maybe.
So we
I just going by what's it, but brings up your memories.
Facebook,
It's
yeah.
gotta be 5, 6 years.
So we've been going. Someone goes started in 2010.
We've had members that have been doing it for.
Oh yeah, we get
Not
this.
long.
Yeah, part of our team have been doing we've got Mark and the guys from Reading there, and then Nick asked a question. Those guys that come along with us. Mark Dunn, he's been investigating for a long time as well. So we've got a bit more experience within the team as well. But we've been hosting events for those. Hello, mate. How you doing?
Evening.
Thank you, Leslie. Like I say, it's going to be as much show for you guys as it is for us. So let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you want to hear. Evidence is definitely the way forward. We'd love to be able to bring it you. And if we play a video and you say, actually, do you know what? I don't think it says that. For us, then we're up for the debate.
We love that.
And that's what it's all about. We spend as much time on our events debunking than we do investigating sometimes. Probably more.
A good chunk of our equipment is just there to debunk the other equipment.
Definitely.
And we've been there where we've had some perfect example, the Gauge of Justice with the prison, the cell door banging shut. We heard a big bang. We weren't sure what position the door was in originally, so we opened it again. And then it went bang again, and we run over there all excited. We've got this. And then
thanks, Sylvia.
as you go from that, then realising there's a door there we didn't know about, and through that door is the alley, and at the end of the alley is a gate.
Yeah.
Every time people walk past it, they swing it shut,
Yeah.
and then you're just down again.
Yeah.
You think it's
part of what we do,
It's
definitely.
better to know
We
the
do.
truth. So.
We spend a lot of time trying to prove it's normal before the paranormal.
Yeah.
Definitely, and that's our aim.
Exactly.
It's just that's
It's once we get to the point where we're like, well, we can't explain that, then
But even now we
ticks the
do get
boxes.
excited, and we have to bring ourselves down.
Definitely.
And you
I did it the other
get
day.
a disappointment when you debunk it, but that's what you've got to do. Otherwise, it becomes meaningless.
Definitely. So, Kimberly, what's your main aim during an investigation? Individual experience or getting evidence? Both. I think evidence is what we do it for. We want to try and get evidence. Obviously, we want individuals to experience the paranormal with us, of course, but without the evidence, it's nothing. Like Richard definitely touched on it earlier on today. You just don't believe what people say. So you get to a point where someone says, "I've done this, I've seen this." Without your evidence, it's nothing. And I don't get embarrassed talking about it. But some of the stuff that I've had a personal experience, I've seen this, I've done this. It's something that I've seen and I've not been able to substantiate. So
you tell people, and just you see the look in their eyes, like
yeah, you think, yeah,
Is that
really,
right?
The old saying, isn't it? To the believer, no proof is necessary. To the non-believer, no proof is possible.
I
definitely.
think individual experiences are really useful though,
Yep.
because you could never catch everything at once. But when people do say that they've experienced something, they've felt something,
Yeah.
you can then focus on that to get some evidence.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of individual experiences from guests that they will tell you something, and you'll be like, "That's not the first time that's
Yeah.
happened."
Mm.
So that becomes to collaborate as evidence in itself. Personal experiences, as Richard was saying earlier, we're the best tool we've got.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
You would hope it would
It's
be
a mixture of both.
both.
Thanks, Kimberly, for your question.
Cheers.
Still got more coming through, have we?
I'll tell you what, for me, it hasn't. If I have been in situations where we've had a lot of experience, and especially if you've got guests that are a little bit worried, and I do make a point sometimes of ending the night with, saying that, you're not to follow the same. It's been a great talking to you, but, you're not to. This is it.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you're saying goodbye. You've got to have rules, I think, and you're kind of laying it out that you're not.
Yeah.
You're not to attach yourselves. This is it. It's been a great evening, but
My neighbours all think I'm mental. For the last 10 years on a Saturday night, I get in at 3 or 4 in the morning, and every time, I'll give you a bit of backstory, I'll always turn my back to my front door and I'd face out to the road and I'd just say, thank you very much for the communication this evening. Please go back to where you came. That's based on my wife said she'd divorce me if I bring anything back. So in fairness, it's sort of a bit of a double-edged sword, really. I'm talking about a bit mental saying it, but yeah.
The other side of that, I have taken things to a venue.
Yes, yeah.
So that's the other side of it. That for whatever reason, it might necessarily be something that's at your house, but somebody or for whatever reason, there's something that's connected to you in some way, and I've taken that to a venue.
Yeah.
So.
See, I've taken stuff from venues. Probably that's why I'm never allowed to go back.
Yeah, that's another story. But you did the prison sentence, and that's fine. Same sort of question, Polly. So I do have a bit of a story on this actually, about bringing something home. Just remembered it. My son, back when my son's 10 now. Back when he was a young boy, he wasn't really sleeping very well, and this is a really weird situation. So I put on, we never really have mediums, although that sort of thing fascinates me. So I put on Facebook, can anyone suggest a medium? And can anyone suggest a medium? So I said, so I put that, and literally about 20 minutes later, it was on a Thursday evening, my phone rang. So I picked up the phone, and the guy said, I've been given your number. I hear you're looking for a medium. And I was like, okay. And he went, what do you know? Sort of went down a conversation of, you don't want to prove how good I am and stuff. And he went, you've got something going on in your house at the moment. And I was like, really? And so I didn't give him any information. He said, and he was like, yeah. So we sort of went back and forward, and he said, it's in your son's, it's happening with your son. And I went, okay. So again, it's not something I put on Facebook. So I said to him, okay. So he went, can I go and see him? And genuinely, my wife was at work. I was looking around the house for cameras. I thought she's put me on some sort of show because he's made me get he made me get a pendulum. And he said, listen, I want to go and see your son's room. So anyway, we went upstairs. And I got to the room, and honestly, I was so skeptical. I was thinking that my wife definitely set me up there. And just before I got to the threshold of the room, bear in mind I'm on the phone, I've got a pendulum in one hand, right, is what he's telling me to do. He said to me, there's your first problem. And I went, okay. I think he's got to be looking at me now. And he said, your son's cot, his feet are facing the window. Yeah, he said, your feet are facing the window. He said, that's your first problem, move it round. And I was like, okay. He went, let's go into the room. So again, I'm like looking around thinking, right, where's these cameras? So I walked through the threshold of the room, and he went, right, turn and face the door. So I turned and faced the door, and he went, there's your problem. To the left-hand side, there's a wardrobe. In front of the wardrobe is a stool, he said. And there's a little boy sitting on that. And I went, okay. I'm starting to get a bit freaked out then, because I'm thinking, like, he's just described the room to me, and this guy lives in Kent, so he's nowhere near me. And anyway, yeah. So he said that was it. So I'd look down to the left-hand side, and in front of it, well, it wasn't a stool, it was a drum. So he was bang on with what he said. And he said that we went to like a small smuggler's pub, and he reckons we bought something back from there. And he did a sort of cleanse or whatever it was. And from that point onwards, the only thing I will say of it, whether you believe in that side or not, from that point onwards, Dylan didn't have any problem sleeping. It was a really, really weird situation. So yeah, I have brought something back, I think.
Drummer boy.
A little drummer boy, yeah, he was sitting on a drum, yeah. So yeah, that was quite cool. But negative, no, my wife has said to me, she'll kill me. If anything comes home, then that's when I'll be stopping or divorce. So yeah, no, we haven't had that. But
has she heard that story before, by the way?
Yes, yeah, she did hear the story.
Just checking.
Yeah, she did. If not, I'm knocked out. I'll be sleeping in here, Richard. That's okay. Nice, comfy sofa.
They are actually, yeah, by all means.
But thank you for your question, Polly. Have you ever had to drain your energy? We've had them drain batteries and drain the equipment.
I don't know.
It's hard to tell because
Yeah.
the times we do these investigations are at night. So
Yeah. Have you ever noticed that if you have like a really good session,
Yep.
and lots of things are happening, you're making good contact, that next session you are just white.
Yeah,
You can
definitely.
barely get any energy up.
Yeah, so we have had it. I get
but
it.
would
Yes.
that be
that was
down
the,
to the time of the night and the next area you're going on to 2, 3, 4 in the morning?
It depends what you believe. I think that the last session is always the hardest one anyway. But yes.
That's why I started doing trigger music,
Yeah.
just because that sort of that extra new thing and sort of the music kind of wakes you up. So I always used to do that on the last session.
We should start doing the last session first.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be easier.
That's it.
Great at it.
Perfect.
So,
So yeah, I guess we have, but it's really hard to substantiate that because we do it at night and sometimes it's 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. So you're naturally tired anyway. But yeah, we have had some really, really good sessions where you've come out of it completely drained. But yeah, so I guess that's an element of having your energy drained. So a lower energy.
Like something dark.
Yeah, Lauren, do you mean something dark? Do you mean something sinister, dark and sinister? Don't know.
we've had
I guess
growls
so.
and
You've been scratched, haven't you?
yeah,
Growls and hisses, certainly.
We had a hiss last weekend,
some
didn't
of
we?
our band.
We did it, and there was a few of them. That I have actually, sorry guys, I've actually downloaded that today now. So
Oh,
just
brilliant.
got,
Yeah, we've had-
so hopefully I'll
we've had
share that scene.
had a
There's
few things.
also an EVP there on you.
Yeah.
An EVP on there.
Yeah, that was
Which-
at Gloucester Prison, wasn't it?
Yeah, Gloucester Prison.
I'm not sure if it could be you, but I don't know why you'd say what you said, which was 1942.
There's no relevance, is it? But yeah, so
Yeah, though.
from a lower then. So Lee had been scratched at one of the venues we go to, which would have been an old asylum, and yeah,
I asked to be scratched.
And
Basically.
Sarah was scratched in the Northwood basement. As
yeah, yeah. So Polly's going now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I say, we'll be on every other Sunday. So yeah, tune in again. It'd be really good to hear your feedback, and yeah.
Thanks, Polly.
So yeah, lower energy. I guess yeah. I guess we have. I mean, like I say, we've been scratched. I don't think I've ever.
Do you know what I used to?
No.
There was a time when I would kind of ask for that. So, you know, if you want to scratch me, it's fine.
Yeah, I did.
But then I sort of decided, you know what, I really don't know what I'm dealing with.
No.
So now I will say, if you want to touch one of us or touch me, that's fine, but be respectful.
Yeah.
Because ultimately we don't know
Yeah.
what we're dealing with or what we're dealing with. So I think, so if you want to be scratched, okay, mate, it's a great
Growl,
story,
Winchester.
but I don't know what I'm dealing with. So
We had, so we had like a growl at Winchester Mansions, and again, we were very early on, quite a newish sort of team. We'd set up in the 3 levels of it. We were I was down in the basement at this time, and we heard this almighty growl. For me, it didn't say at the beginning. We probably got
What's
yeah.
noise?
For me, straight away, I thought,
That was you.
as everyone, that's exactly what it sounded like. We've debunked it. No, but we actually caught a growl, and again, it's one of them experiences where you don't think paranormal straight away. I genuinely thought someone had fallen. I genuinely thought that. I'm thinking, oh god, is my insurance valid if someone's fallen off the building or whatever? And I radio through going, listen, is everyone okay? My first question wasn't paranormal. It was, is everyone okay? Is everyone accounted for? Because with Winchester, you do have half the building, don't you? So I'm thinking,
And there's half that's got no floor.
and I'm thinking someone's tumbled. That's exactly what I thought. But when you listen to it back, the growl is, again, what go and watch it on YouTube. I think it's on YouTube, isn't it? It's not,
It is on YouTube.
it is on YouTube. Watch it. It's it's a really, really weird noise.
The thing is, you couldn't say that it was negative toward anyone in the
No.
building because it just kind of just happened and it was heard throughout the building.
Yeah, it was odd. But so we've had loads of sort of activity that can be sort of maybe misconstrued as lower or negative or dark. But I suppose none of us have been ever really threatened or,
I've been told to get out and been sworn at, but I don't think that necessarily means it's a bad energy.
And it doesn't tend to be our approach. We don't,
No, it's
don't
definitely not our
approach things
approach.
with any sort of provocation beyond just so maybe a challenging as opposed to a provocation.
Yeah, definitely.
And no, for me, if you go into a room and you don't know someone, so imagine a spirit was there and it was a stranger. So if you went into a living room with someone sitting there and you said, scratch me, the person's not going to do it.
No.
99 times 100 is going to not do it. They just ignore you. So
Yeah.
Probably why.
As you walked into a pub and went, "Oh, anyone scratch me tonight?" Like, people would think like you're mental.
Yeah.
And that's it's the same sort of
You'd
approach.
walk in and you'd say hello, maybe. Depends on the pub.
What's the strangest thing you guys have?
Strangest. Probably gone over them a bit, really, but
Lee in a boy costume.
yeah, I think Lee, definitely. I love those experiences that you don't put down to paranormal. You just think
Yeah.
that,
They
like,
catch you.
yeah, I think from a strange point of view, we have so many of them. And I think we take them for granted now a little bit because, like I say, during lockdown, we've been able to review the footage and the evidence. And Richard just a moment ago talking about EVPs and we've got some EVPs where it has to be a spirit or it has to be someone faking it because it's so clear in response. It has to be one of the two. And the reason I leave that open, and I know that. For the way we go about it, it's that clear. There's not, if you watch a show on TV and it go, we just heard someone take it out, and when you look at it, you need subtitles to make it, and it's like a
grunt. Adjusted the volume on the audio anyway.
See, I love something that you think that cannot be, like So
the strangest thing recently for me, anyway, going on recent activity, was that manor house in Wales. The hand.
Priory.
How'd you say? Oh, yeah,
The Nathy Secundum Manor.
that's it.
Bless you. Yeah, that hand. Wow.
Yes,
That's
to
on
me.
YouTube.
That's on YouTube. Yeah.
Right, plugging our
You should
YouTube.
hop onto the YouTube channel and see all the stuff we've been talking
But
about.
yeah, we actually, from an evidence point of view, we've got this video, and
We cannot-
explain. It's very, very strange.
Yeah, I was filming. We were live streaming, weren't we? And I was filming, just sort of panning the camera around. And luckily, another group member took a photo of me. I think about 5 seconds before. See, I had the camera in my right hand, and as I'm panning round, a hand just comes round. And we can't explain it.
So you had the camera in this hand, so
This hand.
it would have had to have come round. It couldn't.
It was the right hand. You
Yeah,
can make out the fingers.
it was a right hand. It was that clear, and it's strange because there's no one near you.
There's a wall behind me.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it'd
everyone
be interesting in your thoughts. I think that's on Facebook as well, isn't it? But have a little look at that. But it's on YouTube and Facebook. But I've not managed to. We probably spent 40 minutes trying to debunk that. Trying to do the camera.
You saw it and then you pressed the night. That's you were just trying to recreate it. Yeah.
But yeah, that was really strange. Did you? Shepton Manor, that's a good one. That's a good one for us, isn't it? Shepton Manor. We've had some good events there. So we heard the growl and heard a man shout, "Shut up!" Cool. Where was that? Was that Winchester Mansions? We heard a growl. Honestly, go on and have a look at this growl. This growl is just.
It's the strangest thing ever.
I would say from the skeptical point of view, everyone will watch that and go, "That is no way." But we were mind blown, weren't we? It was something that we've never.
We had every part of the building covered as well with the team. Everyone with.
It was caught on 4 different voice recorders. That's before we did the.
Yeah, it was
the proper ones,
on each floor, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it just sounds the same. Yeah, but Winchester's a farm. It's one of your favourites, Andy.
It is because it's so secluded. So you go there and you're not going to hear anything outside apart from animals. So what we do is leave a record outside to record the animals, but anything then inside we know is not random drones passing by.
Definitely.
That's reminded me actually about strange, and we just mentioned because that's where I've got one of the strangest photographs I've ever seen. And so you've got when you take live photos on your iPhone, and it'll take 20 or 30 at once.
Yeah.
So I was at the entrance to the house, and I just took a few photographs. Just went click, 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 not expecting to see anything, just the corridor. And so you've got corridor, and then there's one that is just complete, brilliant white. And then it goes back to corridor. But when you break that photograph down into its little segments, it starts off with a normal photograph of the corridor. Then you see like a cloud mist come in. Next photograph, it starts to form. Next, it starts to form. And I'll see if I can get it. We can show it to you another week. And I won't say too much because I'll leave it to you to decide what you see. So it finishes with this shape, and then it's gone again.
Yeah.
And that, I tried replicating it in different ways, by blowing smoke and that. And I've never seen anything like that.
And Jason's photo there as well.
So we've got another photo, probably for another show, that one. But there's another photo that's really, really strange. Which has split the team down the middle. And
I hope someone's writing all these shows down.
Definitely, yeah. Well, that's So Steve, that's good. You can't do anything unless what was that?
You provoke.
Yeah, you provoke. But we always say the same thing, Steve, on that. If you walked into a pub on a Sunday afternoon,
Thanks, Heidi.
Oh yeah, thanks, Heidi. If you walked into a pub on a Friday afternoon or a Saturday afternoon or whenever, and started to be an idiot, you're going to get animosity, aren't you? You probably get punched. And we just don't approach our events like that. You know, we're certainly respectful if we're in someone's house, and we just behave like we would do if they were a living, and explain what we're trying to do and the reason why we're there, and try and approach it in a bit of a different way. I think you get in what you put out. And,
why would you get anything? Yeah. Why would anyone?
I mean, we are trying to
do any
provoke reaction, not a bad reaction. We're trying to do it through respect and understanding, and through showing empathy for that person. So,
Thank you, Liz.
that's what we are trying to provoke, but not in a what you're going to do kind of way.
Definitely,
you know?
definitely. So we're going to. I suppose it's getting towards 10 o'clock. You're more than welcome to join us, Wendy, whenever you want, wherever you are in the country. You have to let us know where you are. Wimbledon. Yeah, no worries. That's not.
We're there for tennis.
Terrible. If you ever want to come with us, you're more than welcome to come on any of our events. Like I said, we just get in contact with us, and we would definitely we would definitely love to have you along and try and share the experiences with you. But it's been good. The first show's been good. The nerves. I think the nerves before the show. I've never seen you nervous before. I know. Do you know what? I do it all the time. So the whole opening bit about who we are and what we do, I do it every event we do.
Hundreds of times you've done that.
And then this time, I think even in the rehearsals, I got our name wrong. I
turned up and I was thinking, I feel a bit anxious about this. I'm not really comfortable with being in these situations, but I thought, I'll be all right because Dan carries through anyway. And then you come up to me, I'm thinking, well, we're in trouble. I've said this before. Now I'm starting to panic. I mean, you guys have been amazing with your interaction, the questions you've asked, and getting involved. It's made it. I'm not going to say easy, but it's made it a lot more. It's made it easier and enjoyable. It's been really good.
It gives us a way to share our passion and share our experiences. So we're. Can't wait now. It's one of them where I can't wait for the next one. So we put together something, and then we'll announce it and let you know. But certainly from an evidence point of view, we'd love to bring some evidence to you, see what you think of it, and then spark the debate that way. We're really happy with that. Terry, thank you very much. Thank you for that. We really appreciate your comments. Yeah, no worries. So you can do this, can't you?
Sure, Dan. Yeah,
of course. Yeah. So Monday from 12 p.m. is the Ian Mason show. You've got is it Indigo Starseed on Monday from 3:45 p.m. And then you've got Matt and Kirsty, a pathway to your spirituality. Can't even say that last word. And that's from Monday night at 8 o'clock. That's a real popular show, guys. So yeah, tune in for that. But yeah, it's been really good. It's been a really, really good first show for us. And
good luck to everybody on their upcoming shows, and I hope they've had much fun as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. But no, it's been really good. So yeah, but I would say keep liking, keep trying to share the show as well. Like I say, we can't do anything without you, so it'd be good for you to sort of tune into us and like and share. And
love the genuine comment. That actually means a lot to us.
That does mean a lot. The genuine comment, because that's in an industry where we're in an industry where people it's so contentious.
We miss you too.
See you soon.
You guys are on university. Cheers, Dave. Up the Saints. I'm in the wrong area to say that.
You beat me to that.
Thanks, Lynn. But thanks, Danny, as well for tuning in. I know you've got lots of experience. I know we have lots of fun chatting about your experiences as well. So it's been really good. But we will definitely we're definitely back. We'll definitely be back with that. But yeah, keep liking, keep putting your thumbs up and on the show, and give us some feedback. Like I said, you can always communicate with us via Facebook. Anything you'd like to see, anything you want to try and see, then visit us on Facebook or get liking and sharing. And we'll see you in the next couple of weeks. But thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Have a good week. Are we allowed to hug this out?
No, we're social distancing.
If I put the mask on, can we?
Yes, of course, yeah. But that's good.
Brilliant. That was all right, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
It wasn't Car Crash TV, was it?
We still are, eh? It wasn't Car Crash TV.